Hello and welcome to Cooking Lessons for Dad. My name is Breyer and today we are going to make baked sweet potato fries. They're so amazingly easy and delicious. So the ingredients in this recipe are sweet potatoes, olive oil, onion powder, garlic powder, chili powder, kosher salt, ground pepper, and we need a cooking spray. And that's it. So the first thing that we need to do is preheat the oven to 425 degrees, and I already did that. The next thing that we need to do is spray 2 baking sheets with cooking spray. Okay. And the next thing that we need to do is we need to rinse and scrub our sweet potatoes, which I already did. Make sure they get really clean. And then the next we're going to cut them. We need to cut them into similar sized strips. You can leave the skin on. I usually cut the ends off and then cut out any bad spots. You want to cut them, you can cut them in big strips or small strips. And when they cook, they're going to shrink more. So you just want to cook them in similar sized strips so they cook at around the same time. So you can make them longer than this. It depends on how long the potato is. Okay, so you're going to go ahead and put them in a bowl or a big Ziploc bag. And I'm going to go ahead and use a Ziploc bag. So as you cut them, you can start throwing them into the bowl or the bag. So in 5 potatoes, you could use 4 large ones, more small ones. They're all different sizes. Just kind of guess. Okay, so I'm stopping with 4 sweet potatoes because they were very large and I won't have room in the bag to shake them around. So I'm going to stick with, that was a lot of potatoes. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put the oil in the bag with the potatoes and shake it around. Or if you're using a bowl, then you can stir it around, and you can stir it around with your hands. Get them all messy. I'm going to try and keep my hands clean. So I'm going to put 2 tablespoons, especially since this is a large bag of potatoes. But if you had a little less, you can adjust the oil. So then you want to, if you're going to use the bag method, zip it closed but leave some air in there. And then you're just going to keep shaking it around until all the potatoes are coated with oil. And if you have somebody who's bored around the house, you could just give them this job and they could shake it around. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and put my spices in. So I have 1/2 to 1 teaspoon of onion powder, and I'm going to put the whole teaspoon, especially since I have a pretty big batch here. Last time I made this, I didn't have quite so many in here, so depends on the size of your potatoes. So the next ingredients is 1/2 to 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. So I put 1 teaspoon. And then the next ingredient is 1/2 teaspoon of chili powder. And you don't want to go too overboard on that because it's pretty hot. And then 1 teaspoon of kosher salt. If you don't have kosher, you could use a different kind, but this really has the best flavor. And then after they're cooked, you could add more salt if you would like to. So the next ingredient is 1/2 teaspoon of fresh ground pepper, and this you can just guess on. All right. So we're going to zip it up and shake it again, or in the bowl, you're just going to mix it around with your hands. Okay, so our potatoes are pretty shook up and the spices are evenly distributed. And like I mentioned, I would probably have a little bit less of this so it's easier to shake, but you could have this much, it just takes a while to shake. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put them on the cookie sheets on an even layer. We don't want them stacking on each other. We'll split it between the two pans. Okay, so next thing that we're going to do, we're going to put them in the oven. We're going to cook them. We're going to bake them for about 25 to 30 minutes, and then we're going to turn them halfway. Get the spatula and just take a few and flip them over till you get them all turned over, and then put them back in the oven to finish cooking. Okay, so we'll go do that next. Okay, so I'm going to put them in the oven. I'm going to set the timer for 15 minutes and turn them at that time, and then I'll set the timer for 10 more minutes and check them. And they might have to go a few minutes longer till they're crispy. Okay, so we'll be back in a bit. Okay, so our fries are done. They're nice and crispy. And you can see the nice brown color. Okay, so our baked sweet potato fries smell delicious, and it's time to try them. Sometimes they also will get kind of blackened, and don't worry about that one bit because it has like a caramelized flavor and it's so delicious. So these were really easy. You just cut up fries, mix them with some olive oil and some spices, and you can adjust the spices more or less to your taste. And one thing is, if you make bigger fries, it's easier to turn them over halfway when you have as many or have little itty bitty fries. I use a spatula. Also, sometimes it's easier just using a fork and going and turning them one by one. See, these ones got a little more toasty, which it has a great flavor, so you'll find out. You should try this week. Get some sweet potatoes. If you got an oven and a pan, you can do it. And they're best when they're hot. So I have to find somebody to share these with. Okay. Look at all these fries. So let me know how they turn out for you at cookinglessonsfordad.com. Send me a message, and I expect they will be great, but I need to try one. And I love ketchup, so I gotta have ketchup with these. The other thing I've done before is you can also put some yams and sweet potatoes together on the same pan, cook them together. Okay, I'm ready to try this. They're still pretty hot. They're fantastic. Think how healthy sweet potatoes are for you. You're gonna get so many vitamins. All right, have a great day.